We're live.
We're live?
We're live.
Hi there. Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started now. This is the Alpha Tester walkthrough for Search Explorer, a new SEO and analytics tool brought to you by Philly Marketing Labs. My name is Joe Norton. I'm the Chief Software Architect at Philly Marketing Labs. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for coming and for your time and attention. To get things started, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Bashara Jowdy. Bashara is a partner and co-founder of Philly Marketing Labs, and he is going to talk a little bit about the background of Search Explorer, as well as what our objective is here today. So without further ado, the floor is yours, Bashara.
Thanks, Joe. Let's just take a moment. I'm seeing 0 viewers, so Skip is saying he can't see it. Okay.
There we go.
All right. So here we are. So we're at Philly Marketing Labs here. We're a digital marketing agency. We service our clients across several areas of marketing: SEO, PPC, web development, social media. We're very analytics driven in everything we do. And as you can imagine, with Google Analytics providing not provided data through a lot of its reports, we found ourselves turning to Webmaster Tools, now Search Console, to answer a lot of our questions. We found Search Console to be lacking from a data analysis perspective and started thinking about creating tools to fill the gaps we found. It's by no means Google Analytics. The reports are more archaic. Even though Google put in a few updates to some of the reports, it's still a little behind. So what you'll see today in the demo is that Search Explorer is built on the principle of keyword segmentation. In essence, Search Explorer allows you to create buckets of keywords that relate to either your business objectives, your product lines, if it's an e-commerce site, keyword similarities, or any other strategy you have to segment your data. Once your buckets are created and the keywords are in them, that's when the fun begins. You can evaluate the average position of the keywords in a given bucket as a group and look at a collective position. You can compare buckets performance period over period, as well as look at deltas, gains and losses in keywords and buckets themselves. At the end of the day, we're marketers building a tool for other marketers, and we hope that this tool will benefit the search community. We're very excited to be giving you guys a look under the hood today and really appreciate candid feedback. We're looking for feedback as to the relevancy, usefulness, and the overall functionality of Search Explorer. You can give us feedback after the presentation and the demo through a mechanism that Joe will teach you about, or through the Q&A of this Hangout itself. On the left-hand side, you should be able to click on Q&A and submit questions, and we will do our best to cover as many as we can before the end of this allotted time. I'm going to turn this over back to Joe, and throughout the presentation, I'll be chiming in on key pages and give you feedback and insights on how we've used some of these reports and metrics in our marketing work with our clients. So back to you, Joe, for the technical walkthrough.
Thank you, Bashara. I'm going to screen share now so we can start to demo. So you should be seeing Search Explorer. Before we start making an account and everything, I just wanted to mention one last time, if you haven't signed up for our alpha tester, for the test officially, if you haven't filled out the form, this one right here, then you're going to want to do that. What we're going to do is after this call, we're going to send out invitation codes to everybody who both filled out that form and watched this video. That way they can come into the platform and play around. So make sure you do that if you want to be an alpha tester. So the first step is to create a user. The easiest way, I'm going to click on register. The easiest way is to sign up with Google. If you'd rather use, if you have a third-party email address and you want to have your own password, looks like we're having a little bit of problems. Why don't I? It's working? Okay, good. All right, so back to where I was. The easiest way is to sign in with Google. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Sign up with Google. It'll ask you for permission just the first time. Go ahead and accept. And just like that, we created a new user on the Search Explorer platform. So now the next step is to create an account. All of your data lives within the account. It's not, all the data is not tied to the user, it's tied to the account. That way you can have multiple users associated with that account and with all that data. So we're going to go ahead and create a new master account. Now, the first thing you need is an account name. This is kind of the overarching name. This would be the name of your company or the name of your agency, something like that. So we're going to be using Affiliate Marketing Labs test data today. So why don't we say Affiliate Marketing Labs LLC. And right now we need an invitation code because we are in alpha, and so we're letting people in kind of one at a time. Fortunately, I do have an invitation code, and all of you will too. So let me just paste that in here, and we'll create a new account. And just like that, we created an account. Now, the first step is to add a domain. We can go ahead and do that right here. Add your first domain. So this would be all of the websites that are going to be within your account. So we'll add our first one. We'll say this is a PML website. We'll just call it PML. And you also enter the website address. So this is just cosmetic. You don't need to put the protocol, HTTPS or anything like that. In fact, you don't even need www, but we're going to go ahead and do that just for show. So let's go ahead and create that domain. So just like that, we added a new site. So right now there's nothing in it. So the big deal, the big step here is we need to upload the Webmaster Tools data and plug it into this domain. So that's what this message right here is about. We have no monthly totals available. Upload a Webmaster Tools data file. So this is what the new upload page looks like. There are a little bit of instructions right here. Also, there is a thorough help article which provides screenshots of the process of how you go and download this Search Console data. I'm going to show you guys how to do that real quick, since I'm here, I might as well. So real quick, I'm going to jump over here to Search Console, where we have open the Affiliate Marketing Labs account, and I'm going to show you how we go about downloading that data. So when you open up a profile in Search Console, it should look like this with the new report, Search Analytics. With the Search Analytics report, they do provide a couple nice ways to filter things, but there's no way to download all the data at once. It always seems to cap out at 999 queries. So what you need to do is we need to navigate back right here to the old Search Queries report. We do that, and now you'll see this button right here, download this table. That's what will allow you to download all of the queries in the account, not just 999.
So Joe, let's pause here for a second. So we have a question from Peter that is very relevant to the stage that we're at right now. So Peter is asking, do you use keyword data from the old search queries report or the new search analytics beta report? And I think you're answering this right now.
Yep, that's exactly right. We need to go to the search queries report. That's the old report, because I have yet to find a way to download all the data at once from the search analytics report. That's the new one. So if you're trying to download it from the search analytics report, you'll find all your downloads are going to stop at less than 1,000 queries, and usually you're going to have many more than that. Yep. So that's why we have to use the old report. Good question. So I'll continue. So make sure you set the date. Very, very important. Set the date. What we want is a full month of data. Because we're doing this file upload process, our kind of unit of time right now is a month. We will change that in the future once the Search Console API comes out and we can integrate with that. We hope to have, start to take it day by day, that kind of thing. Right now, it's all at a monthly basis. So that's how we need you to download this data out. So June 1st to June 30th, we're all set. Let's download this table. You're going to want to select CSV, and that'll download that. And while we're here, let's jump back another month, and so that way we have 2 months of data. First and last of the month, download this table. There we go. So now we've just downloaded 2 whole months of data out of the search queries report. I'm going to hop back over to Search Explorer where we were on the new upload page. And you can either drag and drop the files or you can do browse. I have my downloads folder open though, so I can very easily just navigate to the new files. And I'll just drag and drop them. You'll see success message when it finishes uploading, and then there'll be a green alert that pops up and directs you to the main uploads page. There's one more thing we need to do for each of these files before we can start to use the data in them. So we're going to follow that button, take me to the main uploads page. So you can also get to that from here up in the nav bar just by clicking uploads. And you'll see these are both of the files we just uploaded. What we need to do is we need to set the domain so we know what site this data is affiliated with, and we need to set the date. That way we know what month of data this is. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm just looking at the name real quick because if you can see by the end of the name, it ends with 501, 531. It's a quick and easy way to see what date that file. So I clicked edit. We're going to go in here and set the domain real quick to PML. That's our only domain, so it's pretty easy. And like I was saying, a little trick in the naming conventions that Google Webmaster Tools uses is it sticks the time span at the very end. So that's a kind of an easy way to know what month. So that was May. We'll save that and parse. So this is the last step in the file upload process. After we click this button, our processes will start to take apart that file and enter it into our database so we can use it in reports. You be aware of that. So we'll click parse. And so while that's parsing, you know what, let's go ahead and start the other one. You'll notice that this one has now changed from exclamation mark to a question mark. It is in the process of parsing. It'll eventually be a green check sign. But while we're here, let's go ahead and get this other one started. We'll set the domain. And like I said, quick and easy way to see what month you're dealing with if you haven't already renamed the file. That is June. We'll save and start parsing. So while those two are parsing, it's a good time for us to move into a different area of functionality in the site, which would be the buckets. You heard Bashar talk a lot about buckets. This is how we create our segments. Let's go ahead and start making one. Create a new bucket. So we'll choose a name for this bucket. Let's go with SEO. Positive keywords. These are what keywords are going to, when they phrase match a search query, they're going to pull it into this bucket. So what do you want the kind of triggering keywords to be? Right. So let's do SEO, search engine optimization, and organic.
So the idea here, if I may jump in, Joe, is based on your SEO strategy and based on how you segment the data according to your business objectives, you may decide to create buckets differently. So SEO here, we're obviously going after a service area, so any keyword that relates to SEO, and this uses a phrase matching algorithm. So by writing SEO, search engine optimization, organic, this bucket is going to go back and look at the Webmaster Tool data and take any keywords that have these keywords in them in a phrase match fashion and put them in the SEO bucket. But you could use this bucket to say red scarves or men's clothing or any other strategy you have to segment your data and use it for creating the bucket. So you have total freedom and control over this.
Yep, that's absolutely right. That's a good point. We should keep in mind that the data we're working with, our example here is Affiliate Marketing Labs, a digital marketing agency. So this is a big service line within the the data set we're looking at.
Yep.
So step 3 here is add negative keywords. If for some reason you wanted to filter out certain types of queries, this would be how you would do that. For example, if there's a competitor we didn't want to show up in this bucket or something like that, that would be the place to add those kinds of words. We don't need them, not for this case, so we can go ahead and create keyword bucket. And while we're here, I just want to go ahead and why don't we create another one, and we'll make this a PPC bucket. So this would be another service line of Philly Marketing Labs. Positive keywords, so let's choose PPC, paid search, negative keywords. So just for fun, let's add AdWords. Maybe hypothetically, for some reason, we've decided we wanted to have an AdWords bucket that was separate and distinct from the PPC bucket. I don't know. Let's go ahead and do that. Create keyword bucket. So it just created those buckets, and actually what happens is when you create a bucket, it automatically runs that month of data versus that bucket. So those are crunching, and we should have the results soon. Let's head back to the dashboard and see what we have. So right here, this means that our file's finished parsing. This is a month of data. You can see the time span right here. So this is all the queries, all the impressions, clicks, click-through rate, and the true rank. The true rank is it's our metric. We developed it to give you the a more close approximation to how you're ranking in the real world when you're looking at groups of related search queries. So it's kind of a aggregate rank when you're looking at segments.
Okay. So this true rank here is at the domain level, so that's for the entire Webmaster Tool file, right?
Right.
So
That's right.
So it's more important to look at true rank at the bucket level because that's a weighted average of all the keywords ranks within that bucket itself.
Yep, that's correct. Yep, so this is the full month, and this is when we run each of those buckets versus this month. So we can see out of that 2,238 fell into the SEO bucket, 79 went into the PPC without AdWords bucket. And also, while we're here, the everything else, this is kind of a pseudo bucket. It's not a real bucket yet. You can't explore it yet. But what this is basically your monthly total subtract, and then we subtract out all the buckets you've created. So you kind of get a sense of what, how many queries are still out there that are unaccounted for according to the segments you already have developed. Right. And this is actually something we might develop further in the future so you can actually dive in and that kind of thing.
Joe, do you want to jump into explore the queries? This way, if you don't know what the buckets should be and you're still in the initial evaluation process, you can explore the queries in your big file in one shot, and from it, start coming up with ideas on how to create the buckets and what keywords to put in them.
Yep, absolutely. So to do that, we navigate to queries. And you'll see these, it's basically as soon as the file finishes parsing, you'll see that month of data show up here. And you can click on queries and it'll go to basically that month of queries. And it allows you to explore it. We can do some filtering. Maybe we just want to see, e-commerce stuff. That kind of thing is a good way to test. Like Bashar said, yeah, for potential bucket. Yeah. Also, what you can do from the queries area is this is one place you can do month-over-month comparisons. So if we have May and we want to see it compared to June, we just select them and we can do compare selected dates. So we see an error message here, nothing to be alarmed about. It just means because we uploaded 2 months of data, it didn't quite have everything all figured out right away. We just click that button and it tells us it's going to run those analysis and it'll be populated in a moment. So we'll just give that a minute. You know what, while it's doing that, let's go to the dashboard and dig into one of those bucket reports. So here we are back at the dashboard looking at the SEO bucket. Let's see the full report. So what this is going to do is open up every single query that fell into that bucket for this time period. So here we are with 238 queries. Sorted by clicks and then by impressions, so you get a sense of what the big movers were. We can also see this in a month-over-month report. If we want to see how June did compared to May. Oh, right, that was the one that was just running, so we just need to give that a moment. But one thing we can do, you know what, let's see if we can do the monthly now. There we go. So this is month over month. This is when we're looking at June versus May. And we can see the change in queries, impressions, true rank. We can see the changes in the buckets. And this is actually a very interesting report when you're looking at the month over month at the bucket level. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So this is the SEO bucket, June versus May. So we can see we had a 14% decrease in the number of queries, and yet we had a 57% increase in the number of clicks. You can see some pretty interesting things here. So these big three columns right here, standing queries, gained queries, lost queries, these are the three different types of queries you're going to find in a month-over-month bucket report. Standing queries are the queries which you had last month, or you know, in the earlier month, and you also had in the later month. You know, there's your standing queries, your veteran queries. Yep. Then we have your gained queries. Those are the ones which you did not have in the earlier period, but showed up in the newer one, the more recent one. So those are brand new, maybe new opportunities. Mm-hmm. And then there are the lost queries. Those are the queries which you used to have in the earlier period, but you don't have in the later one.
Right. You know, the interesting piece here to look at, just because you dropped in queries, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a negative result. As you can see in the lost queries, you can see the third one from the bottom, Adam, Alexa, SEO. That's a query that's never been relevant to us. I'm not exactly sure what that means. So by dropping that query, it will count as a negative in the count because we no longer ranked for it, or we did not have impressions for it in the time frame that we were looking at, and it's gone. So this could be you implement a new SEO strategy with your client, and you are evaluating the results. And just because you gained queries and lost queries, it doesn't really tell you much. And Search Explorer allows you to see at a granular level what those gained and lost queries were, so you can adjust and tweak your SEO strategies and implementations. So that's the kind of visibility that you're going to get from Search Explorer that you traditionally don't get using Webmaster Tools or Search Console now.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the most interesting things to me was when we developed this report. I would look at this metric and I would see that the change was in, you know, we lost 40 queries month over month. But when I really looked at the volatility, you know, the movement here, where we actually gained 61 and we actually lost 101, you know, this figure up here kind of masks a lot of activity that's going on, you know, with the search queries.
Yep. Yeah, the true rank, we did not speak about true rank. So true rank is, for the SEO bucket, is the weighted average of the various ranks of the keywords in the SEO bucket. So it gives you a clear idea as to where you're ranking for across all your keywords. This way it takes into account different permutations of a certain keyword, so you're not reporting on, well, on this keyword you ranked second, and on that keyword you ranked 46. This takes all the keywords that you've selected in a given bucket and tailors it.
Right. And actually, on that point, TrueRank is it's really helpful again when you're not exactly sure what. So, for example, we ran into this issue where you're only looking for the ranks of keywords that you're already looking for. All the existing kind of rank report tools out there kind of need you to know what keywords you're hunting down. Need you to know what keywords you're already looking for in advance. With a tool like Search Explorer, where you're using the Search Console data, you don't need to know that ahead of time. You just need to know the segment. You just need to throw a net out there that is capable of catching those queries, and then you'll be able to start measuring their rank.
Yep.
So I think that is it as far as features go. Now is a good time to tell the alpha testers about the ways to give us feedback and support.
Sure.
So there are a couple ways. The easiest way is to either, you can nav the top nav bar to support, and that'll bring you to our support center. And a second, there we go. So there is some in contact support here. There are some articles in the knowledge base, and there are, here's an area where you can provide suggestions. In fact, I would recommend, it's even easier to use the support center if you just use this little widget on the bottom right of the screen. I don't know if you can see that, our pictures may be in the way, but there's a little bubble, and if you click it, then a little form will pop up. And you can give us feedback here, and it'll enter a ticket into our support system, and you'll get direct access to me. If it's a bug, this is the kind of place to put that kind of thing, and it even lets you attach a screenshot, so that's pretty handy. If it's something like an idea for a new feature, you can actually add that in here too. If you click on Help Us Decide What to Add Next, you can vote on an idea someone else has already submitted, or even submit your own idea. So that's pretty cool. Additionally, you can email us directly at support@searchexplorer.com, and that'll put a ticket right in our support system, and again, that'll give you direct access to me. So if you need any help at all, I'm there for you.
Cool.
As an added incentive for alpha testers, we actually wanted to provide you with, just for being an active alpha tester, we want to provide you with automatically 3 months of free usage after the alpha test ends. And we will also be rewarding those who we feel contributed the most a more long-term subscription and license to the platform. So just wanted to let you alpha testers know that's out there. We appreciate your time and commitment.
Yeah, and we're looking for feedback across the board. Feedback on the functionality, user interface, feature requests, and just the overall usefulness of the tool itself. Again, we're marketers building this to use ourselves and for other marketers as well. So please be generous with your feedback, and no feedback is bad feedback. So let us know. We're also, before we jump into the Q&A, I just want to say that we're also looking to spread the word. So if you know somebody that could benefit from this tool that did not, that wasn't reached by our tweets and posts and Google Plus messages, please forward this along to them. We will be doing another demo on July 30th. That's 2 weeks from today. So you'll see a posting on our Google Plus page, as well as an email will go out on the Affiliate Marketing Labs email newsletter. So sign up for the newsletter at affiliatemarketinglabs.com, and you'll be alerted for our next demo coming up on July 30th. And that would be a similar walkthrough like this one, with any refinements that we would have done from this Hangout itself. And we'll do a walkthrough and onboard another batch of alpha testers.
Bashar, before we dive into Q&A,
yeah.
I just remembered one more thing that would be very handy for the alpha testers to know, and that's how to invite additional users to their account. So let me just show you that real quick. You navigate to Account up here in the top nav bar, and that'll bring you to the main account page. And if you're the admin for your account, there's only one admin, whoever made the account. So if you're the admin for the account, you'll be able to see this little gear here. You click on the gear, and it goes to your account admin settings, where you can change the account name, and also view your account users or invite new users. So this is where you would go if you want to invite people to your account. If you want them to be able to see the domains you've added and to have access to the data you've uploaded, then you're going to need them to be a member of your same master account. So just wanted to make sure I got that in there.
Perfect. All right, so let's jump into some Q&A here. We have a question from Adam. It says, is there a limit to the number of buckets you can create?
Good question. No, there is no limit, though perhaps there should be, but no, there is no limit.
As of right now, you can go crazy and create as many buckets as your business needs. All right, we have another question from Peter. Why don't you use an API for importing the keyword data from Google Search Console?
I would love to, Peter. Trust me. I've looked into it a couple of times now, and every time I've checked, that has not been available. The Google Webmaster Tools API did not allow you to get search query data. It would let you see things like, number of pages indexed and that kind of thing, but it wouldn't let you get search query data. Now, if I'm wrong, please let me know, and I'll start implementing the API integration right away. But my understanding is that that's still in the works and that they're developing the Search Console API. But we plan on jumping on that as soon as we can. We understand the whole file upload process is not the most fun, and I definitely want to make it, stupid simple as fast as I can.
Yeah, we built Search Explorer in a way where when the API becomes available, or when an API becomes available, we'll be able to reset Search Explorer to leverage an API very quickly. So we're in wait and see mode to see what Google does with their API interface. Okay. All right. So we have another question here. Can you describe some use cases that you found this tool to be helpful for your clients? Yeah, I think one example of that with the gained and lost queries is anytime as an SEO you implement this strategy or an SEO strategy and make the implementation, when your client, so one use case was a client of ours was shutting down a campaign. Are you navigating to show that?
So what did you want to see, the gained and
Yeah, so let's say your client wants to shut down a portion of their site and they were not aware as to the consequences of that, and being able to see what lost queries they're incurring as a result of shutting down a specific section of the site. Even though you put in 301 redirects and all that, being able to see the lost queries and in almost real time, and being able to react to them is very important. So seeing lost queries come out of that will allow you to adjust your strategy, maybe create pages to capture the lost queries that you did not intend to lose. Obviously, by shutting down section of your site, you were intending on giving up some of that traffic. But if there are consequences that you didn't foresee, you can also create pages to recapture that. So that's one small example of an application for lost queries. But also for us at PML, we did a push for e-commerce a couple months ago, and being able to see the gained queries in e-commerce for e-commerce related buckets was really impressive. You could see the results of your SEO work right away and be able to quantify it to an extent as well. I see Joe is creating an e-commerce bucket right now to just highlight how easy it is to create the bucket and also the output that you'll see from it. Go ahead, Joe, show us that report.
So there is the, that's for June. So we're probably gonna want to see the month over month. Just gotta run that.
Yep. So what Joe did now is he created a bucket for e-commerce. He crunched 1 month of data for it, which was June, and now he told Search Explorer to crunch May, so he can show us an e-commerce bucket comparison of May over June. So hopefully that will render and
SEO strategy. So we had a case where a client, had a local type business, and we did some offsite optimization work in order to beef up their local presence. And what we saw was a ton of gained queries in the showing up. We didn't even have I don't even think it was a local bucket set up. We found local queries showing up in the other buckets, and so that kind of helped us realize just how effective that offsite local SEO work really was. Yep. So let me go back and try out that e-commerce bucket. Huh. Still crunching.
Okay, I see green in there.
Yeah, it was good. There we go. Okay. So here's the e-commerce bucket when we're looking versus June versus May. So we can see queries up 18.6%, impressions up nearly 37%, clicks up 67%, and probably most interestingly, the true rank. It looks negative because you see a minus sign, but you got to remember that when you're talking about rank, you're talking about position, right? So smaller number is better. You want to be number one. So we actually improved by nearly 32%.
So collectively, our keywords went up 27 positions if we looked at them all together.
Right. Yeah, and it gets even more interesting. Right now, when we go to the query section, we only have 2 months of data, but it gets really interesting when you have, 6, 8 months of data, and then you can do things like compare, 6 months over time, and then you see really substantial growth.
Yep. All right. Well, we don't have any more questions. Please take a chance to browse the interface. If you did not request a code to join as an alpha, please do so. If you signed up, you will receive a code right after this call. And we look forward to hearing your feedback. And we will be doing this again on July 30th. So if you think you know someone, or if you know someone that could benefit from this, or would be interested in it, please pass on the information, and you will see the Hangout setup in our Google Plus page. You'll also see it via email if you sign up for our email newsletter at phillymarketinglabs.com. And we look forward to growing this. This was our first call, our first setup. You guys are the first alpha batch, and we can't wait to hear the feedback. We're very excited by this tool. Thank you for joining us today. Bye.